ambassadors, high commissioners, head of international organizations, senior officials, representatives from civil society, from business, from media, dear guests, dear colleagues, dear friends, Murakasa Nesa, bienvenidos, a very warm welcome to all. I'm very happy to welcome you tonight to this Europe Day celebrations for the first time at the residence of my dear colleague and friend Ambassador Vermesen. While we complete the works at the European Union residence, I'm very pleased and I'm very grateful for your invitation to host us on behalf of the European Union family in Rwanda, the same way that Belgium hosts all of our institutions in Brussels. This is a special Europe Day for me. It is my first Europe Day as European Union ambassador, and it is my first Europe Day in Rwanda. So I wish to first thank Minister Biruta on behalf of the government of Rwanda, the people of Rwanda, for welcoming me to this country from the very first day I feel at home. I also want to thank you all here present for being part of this journey in the past 9 months. More importantly, you are part of the fabric of the European Union-Rwanda partnership. So thank you all for joining the colleagues of the EU delegation, for joining the EU ambassadors, for joining my husband and myself in the celebrations of Europe Day tonight. I feel very honored to serve in this beautiful country, and it has been a great pleasure to take the baton from my predecessor, Nicola Beloma, and continue developing the strong partnership between the European Union and Rwanda. In the months that I've been in the country, I've had the pleasure to explore the beauty of the country and to appreciate the vision, the determination, and the capacity to deliver of the leadership and of the people of Rwanda. The European Union is proud to be part of this journey in the spirit of partnership and open dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, a rainy day like tonight, is a reminder of the devastating floods and landslides that hit Rwanda, taking the life of 131 persons and causing damage to many more. We offer our condolences to the family and to the loved ones of the victims. The EU stands ready to help the same way we did in the past. So Europe Day is an opportunity to celebrate European unity and solidarity and to recall what makes the European Union project so unique. The European Union was built on the ashes of a war in Europe. 73 years ago, our founding fathers laid the ground for the European project in the Schuman Declaration. They had the vision to pool resources and to look into the future, working together to build a space for peace, security, and prosperity for the people in the continent and beyond. Today, Europe continues to work for the next generation, building a green Europe, digital and competitive, fair and skilled, strong, resilient and safe, and looking to promote peace around the world. However, in the past year, we've seen in Europe we've been overshadowed by a continued war. We are shaken by the Russian aggression against Ukraine, which completely ignores and violates the principles of the European Union. We condemned Russian military aggression in the strongest term. We will continue to stand with Ukraine. Today, the President of the European Commission, Madame von der Leyen, celebrated Europe Day in Kyiv. And we continue to work a world based on rules and not in power. In Rwanda, Europe Day is an opportunity to celebrate our partnership and to remind us of what brings us together. So Rwanda and the EU look into the eyes at the global level. We are working together to address global challenges. We work together on the pandemic. We're working together in addressing climate change. We're working together on environment and biodiversity, on peace and security, on the fight against terror, but also on the needs for rules-based global order, on a UN reform and on the SDGs. So against this background, our partnership has been growing in the past years. And we're moving from being a development partner to a more mature political relationship. What the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, calls a new software. A cooperation among equals based on mutual interest, shared objectives and values, a relationship based in trust and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past year, we've also seen our partnership with Rwanda grow in different areas and in different ways of doing business. Vaccines is one of the highlights of our cooperation. In the speeches of the President of von der Leyen and President Michel Atunga, but often in the continent, they refer to a partnership with Rwanda on manufacturing and access to vaccines, medicines, and health technologies in Africa. The EU is proud to accompany Rwanda in this journey, proving that it is possible to transform a talent into an opportunity for development and health equity in the continent. In the past year, we've also held our first security and defense consultations to explore ways in cooperating with a great contributor to troops in the UN, but also at the bilateral level, working together in the continent and beyond. The EU and its member states decided to provide financial support to the RDF operation in northern Mozambique at the request of the Mozambican government, and also in fighting together international terrorism. As we mark the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration for Human Rights, we've also expanded a partnership on justice, and we hold a policy dialogue with the Ministry of Justice, joining forces on shared values and also on the implementation of the Universal Periodic Review commitments. Trade and investment is becoming very high in our agenda with Rwanda. The European Business Chamber, who is here present, is taking off and is contributing to expand the European Union business footprint in Rwanda's transformation agenda. In 6 weeks from now, we will be together hosting the European Union Business Forum in Rwanda. It will be the first one, and we will hold it together with the RDB. It will be about bringing European business to meet Rwandan government, but to explore the potential for local partnership with Rwandan business partners and exploring Rwanda as a gateway for the continent. In this context, we're working on a number of sectors, including cooperation on critical raw materials, contributing to the diversification of supply value chains for Europe on the green and digital transition, but also supporting Rwanda's ambitions to modernize its mining sector and to build regional value chains. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue working with Rwanda in its agenda for transformation, in its aspiration to become a middle-income country by 2035, in its agenda for fighting poverty and working on inclusive growth. We're working on a climate-smart agriculture, sustainable urbanization, education, skills, entrepreneurship and economic governance, and also justice, reconciliation and rule of law reforms. Over the past 2 years, we've developed a new way of working together with our European Union member states, which is the Team Europe approach. And the Team Europe is more than the addition of the sum of the addition of the parties, is us becoming stronger together and having a greater impact to benefit Rwanda's sustainable and inclusive development agenda. This is also the spirit of the European Union Global Gateway. The European Union Global Gateway is our strategy, our offer to our partners to build sustainable connectivity, to build trusted connectivity based on our shared values, and to build closer links, not dependency, with our partners, combining resources from European Union institutions, member states, and private sector. In Rwanda, the European Union is working on a number of flagships. Under the Global Gateway, we're working on vaccines. We're also working on pre-primary education, on sustainable Rwanda cities fit for the digital age. We're working on agriculture with the Kigali wholesale market, and all these will be bringing and defining our agenda for the year to come. To bring all these different elements of our partnership together, we value very much the partnership means that we have with you in the form of a political dialogue, and we take it as a sign of the trust and also as a sign of the breadth and the depth of our partnership. Before I conclude, allow me to warmly thank the colleagues of the European Union delegation and my colleagues, the EU ambassadors, for a joint commitment and our daily work to make the EU a partner of choice, a trusted partner to the government of Rwanda, to the civil society, economic stakeholders in the country here present. We aspire to build a strong partnership to address effectively global challenges, preserve the multilateral system, increase bilateral trade and investment, promote inclusive growth, and foster an inclusive, open, and united society. I would like to thank also my husband for constant support since my arrival. I want to support the EU colleagues who have been I want to also thank all the EU colleagues who have been quietly working behind the scenes, perhaps not so quietly for Bert, but to build and to make sure that this event could happen this evening. I want to thank our sponsors, Skoll, for helping share some drinks tonight. And with this, I think it's time for me to close. Europe Day is not for me, it's not about me talking, but it's an occasion for us together to celebrate, to enjoy the artistic performance that Ben announced with Kaya and Michael, and to share food, drinks, conversation, and most especially each other's company. So please join me in a toast on this Europe Day to the friendship and the partnership between the European Union and Rwanda. We'll do that after.